So yes, guys, please before I move into this demo, please I would like you to go and read the whole project description. That's why I went through a technical deep dive and explained everything. This is just a demo, but inside the project description, I laid out everything that you need to know, why everything that happened, and how everything works. Please make sure you read it. I put a lot of time into making it. Thank you very much. So this is pretty much the application, and here I'm just going to dive right into the explore models because this is the most powerful. This is the main part. This is the lens. This is a part of the model that allows you to like. This is your lens on the blockchain. This is what allows you to see every single thing, every single aspect of the blockchain, and how everything works with everything in the blockchain. This is the most powerful part of DomaLens. So this is the priority score, and what the first thing I needed a way to score a domain's basic quality. For this, I built a routing score. My model of choice here was the random forest regressor. The reason I went for random forest is that it is incredibly robust. I knew that I'd be feeding a mixture of different features. Some of them will be numerical, like the domain length, and some will be categorical, like TLD. And random forest handles that mix perfectly fine without needing a ton of pre-processing. Plus, it was great at preventing overlifting, which was a concern since I was starting at a smaller data set. The features I generated were pretty comprehensive. I pulled the basics like length, age, and but also I wrote some custom logic to look for valuable keywords like crypto and AI to flag negative traits like numbers or hyphen. I also flagged them, and also then I added a label encoder from sitekit length to convert the TLD to numerical format. You understand? That's my categorical system, and the model could understand. So the model could really understand the different categories, and this gave me a solid foundation to score any domain, and that's the reason why you have there's a rarity score here. So it's going to give you pretty much a score of how rare a domain is. So for example, we have like crypto.ai is an example of a domain, and by the time we run it, it's going to give us a score, so we know how rare the domain is. I was supposed to integrate this into the system. So basically, that drop down you see there where you see a list of domains, I was supposed to display the rarity score, so you'll be able to sort them according to their rarity. But then I ran into problems, and I explained everything in the project description. That's why I wanted to go into the project description. And the second domain here, I don't want to waste much time on. One is the price predictor. So the main thing about the flight editor is that I wanted the project to predict a real dollar value. That was the obvious plan to train the model on the actual sale and offer prices of them on the Doma testnet. This was where I hit my first major wall. After building the paginated fetching script to pull thousands of domains record, I found that virtually none of them had any offer data. The market on the testnet wasn't active enough, and this was a classic data scarcity problem. I couldn't build the model I wanted to, so I had to pivot. I decided that if I couldn't find real market, I would simulate a logical one. I engineered the simulated price from my training data. The formula was based on what I thought a real trader would value. That's a high base value derived from the rarity score from model one. That's the first model that I showed you, and a huge bonus for having a top tier keyword. That's like keyword like crypto or AI, and also I also added penalties like things like, for example, the domain name being too long or containing numbers. With this simulated data, I trained another random forest model. The results is a price predictor that can give you pretty much a rough price estimate. So, for example, let's say crypto AI. You can just click on the examples here and it's going to run itself. So you can see crypto AI, and then you can see the the value from crypto AI is 1,400. These are the real values. I also put it there. This is simulated price. And then for this long domain with hyphen.com, you can see, okay, it's not found on the Doma testnet. Let's see if Monobank Football is found on the Doma testnet. Yes, it was found, and the value is $50 because it's not needed at all. So then the next is the trend. Next we have here is the trend analyzer. This AI model. Um, the trend analyzer, with this AI model, I wanted to get into forecasting. I wanted to see which TLDs were trending, and also I wanted to see the standard tool I wanted to see the standard tool to check which TLDs we're trying to basically. So the standard tool for the tool I wanted to use for this is time series. Like that's what pretty much what everyone in the game uses for stuff like this. And then and very good example of time series is Arima. So I aggregated all of the tokenization data, creating daily count of new mints for each TLD. So see if there are any new mints for all of the TLDs. But when I tried to fix the RMO model, my code crashed and gave me linear algebra error. So when I dug into the state model library, I realized that the problem wasn't my code, that it was the data itself, because this testnet really had no history. So you can see I've had a history of running into problems where the testnet, that's one place I really want you guys to look into to really work on. The testing data has almost no data, and that was one of the biggest problem I faced building machine learning models on your testnet, because there was really not much data to build from. So everything was created in a, it was as if the history that was there was created in a huge spike in a single day, and the time series was mathematically non-stationary to an extreme degree, and then the model's internal math just couldn't handle it. So I pivoted again for the second time, and I threw the idea of focusing instead of focus on measuring the current momentum. I wrote a new function that calculates the momentum score for every single domain using the exponential decay formula, where more recent means get much higher score than the old ones, if you guys understand what I mean. And then I summed all those scores for each CLD to create a hype index. And this is a simple but incredibly effective way to see what is hot right now, and what model and the model that is perfectly suited. And yeah, for let me just go in straight into it. I'm going to generate a hype index from 0 to 100 real quick so you guys can see. And then here you can see hyperdex of the CLD for AI is 100, but when you come down to stuff like .com, you can see the hyperdex will drop drastically to 5.92. You can see, and for things like sheep, you can see it has dropped to 0.94. And that's yeah, that's pretty much it. So the next one here is the outlier detector. Don't want to waste too much time on this ones. Outlier detector, and the job of the outlier detector was was to build something that could find like sort of like weird, interesting domains, sort of like the hidden gems, if so to say. For and this job was for unsupervised learning. So I used the isolation forest model. This the reason I chose this was because it's really brilliant at finding anomalies in a data set without needing any labels. So I just fed it all the numerical features I had, like the length, the age, the activity count, and etc. The model learns the distribution of what normal domain looks like, and as then assigned like an anomaly score to everything. So the domain with the most negative score would be the biggest outliers, while the ones and it worked perfectly fine. You understand? It worked perfectly fine. Was able to, if you put everything on the graph, you see that most of the normal domains are on one side. They have normal domains, or the ones that they're either very special or they're either something you don't want to go for. So, like I said, I was supposed to integrate this into the app. You understand? To where you say the drop down domains, you be able to sort them at the ones that are most normal, and the ones that are most abnormal, or stuff like that. But again, I run into problems that I explained very well. So let me use an example. For example, let's use crypto.ai. We're able to see the and whether crypto.ai is a normal domain or not. You can see status is a normal domain. But let me put something weird. I don't put anything. Let me just go to the next. Let me go to the next, because guessing the ones that are on the yeah, let's go to the next one. And you can see this is the network analyzer. So network analyzer is my favorite and the best, my favorite model that I built for the testnet. And I wanted to map the social and economic network of Doma. Like I wanted to know who are the power players. For this, I had to move into graph theory. I used network X library in Python to build a direct graph of the entire ecosystem. I made every wallet a node, and I also made every domain a node. Then I drew an edge from wallet to domain for every ownership event, I could find in the historical data. Once I did this, I had like a massive graph built. I ran a page rank algorithm on it. This is the same algorithm that just so you guys know that Google search uses that makes it so powerful, and it's also an elegant way to find the most influential nodes in any network. It's very, 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 very good. So is what this pretty much is going to tell you, like for example, it's going to help you know like the people that own like the best domains in the network, like people that own the most domains in the network, like the most powerful and the best traders here, and then you can know the domains that they are trading on, like the domains that are being traded on the most. This will help you to make better trading decisions when you're buying stuff on Doma Tesla. So here you can see the most exponential wallets here. You can see them. You can search for their domains on my drop down that I have in my UI. You can search for the domains and stuff like that. And also, when you're done with that, you can also search for the top the domains. You can see the domains that these guys are actually buying. You can see domains like number one domain. Let's see which one it is. It's monarchy crypto protocol. Monarchy protocol. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That one has the highest centrality score at 23 points. And you understand. So you make better trading decisions. So now I'm going to take you throughout the rest of the UI. So these are pretty much the models. I was not able to integrate them, like I said, no much time, and yes, I was not able to face so much roadblocks. So here you can see a drop down of different domains. Like for example, you can search for a domain, and you can also search for a TLD or the owner. You understand? That's if you guys on TLD is like the sorry. Yeah, so you can search for the domain, you can search for the TLDs, you can search for the owners as like their wallet addresses. The owners are pretty much wallets, and yeah, you can search for different ones. You'll be able to get them. This is a live testnet feed of what is currently going on the net. But this one obviously is mock data. Like there was no, I wasn't able to get enough data. Like I said, you guys really need to put a lot of data on this testnet so you can really build really cool stuff from it. So this is like a mock data. It's not real. It's not real data from the testnet. But this just show an idea of if this is the main net, you'll be able to see all the things that are currently happening. Like for example, this was transferred to this, this going on, that's going on, and you can see a bunch of stats up here, like total domains, transactions, and stuff like that. And then here, when you click on the domain, you'll be able to do a number of things with the domain. You can see the owner of the domain. Let's go to somewhere you can see the owner, like here. You can see the owner of the domain. You can see the owner of the domain. You can see the status, whether it's owned, whether it's being traded, or whether it is yeah, whether it's owned or it's being traded, or the other one. And also you can see the top the domain the TLD there. So here, what you can do is you can also view the domain on the Explorer. You can view the domain history. Explorer will take you to the Explorer URL where you can easily view it and explore. So you can see some of the transaction history, the history of the domain, some history of the domain, and also you could make an offer. I use